Lore Listening Library, Volume 25, Mass Effect Codex, the M597 Langdon, and Organizations. M597 Langdon. The M597 Langdon blends human workmanship with Reaper technology to devastating effect. After the Battle of the Citadel, Alliance intelligence studied fragments of Reaper-based code recovered from Sovereign. One of the few systems successfully decoded was that of face and object recognition. It was notably advanced, but considered academic until recently. Desperately preparing for the Reaper invasion, the Alliance has identified that this recognition software can make a weapon differentiate between friend and foe. The result is the Langdon, a missile system that can survey the field, assign a homing warhead to each hostile, and then deliver incendiary payloads without accidentally targeting allies. It is sophisticated enough to avoid friendly targets even if they've changed out of uniform or grown facial hair since the last time the weapon was fired. Its major shortcoming is the time it takes to process this information before each launch, delaying the attack for a few critical moments while the trigger is held down. The anti-personnel capacity of the Langdon is fearsome, but the mythology Alliance soldiers have created around it makes it a contender for most hated weapon. The targeting display system was adapted so quickly that alien alphanumeric characters are still visible around the edges, a constant reminder that it is partially of Reaper origin. Rumors abound that a Langdon can indoctrinate its owner if the soldier sleeps next to it, or that it will hit friendly targets the first time it's used in the field against Reaper creatures. More than one Alliance unit has left Langdons at the bottom of a supply crate before heading on a mission, proof that superstition survives even in this advanced age. Cerberus, Mass Effect 2. Immediately following the First Contact War, an anonymous extranet manifesto warned that an alien attempt at human genocide was inevitable. The manifesto called for an army, a Cerberus to guard against invasion through the Charon Relay. Derided as survivalist rhetoric written by an elusive man, the manifesto and its anonymous author soon fell off the media radar. But in 2165, terrorists stole antimatter from the SSV Geneva. The sole figure arrested named his sponsor Cerberus. Throughout the 2160s and 2170s, alleged Cerberus agents assassinated politicians, sabotaged starships bearing Ezo, and conducted nightmarish experiments on aliens and humans. Denounced as human supremacist, Cerberus calls itself human survivalist. Counter-terror experts speculate Cerberus may have changed leadership with its recent shift to stockpiling ships, agents, and weapons. Whether he, she, or they, the elusive man hides his finances behind shell companies. Few doubt he will kill anyone attempting to expose him. Mass Effect 3 Cerberus. In recent years, the pro-human syndicate known as Cerberus has seen its influence grow galaxy-wide. The largely untraceable organization now includes private intelligence agencies, biotic laboratories, research facilities, and the lucrative corporations that provide a front for it all. Cerberus's charismatic leader, known only as the Elusive Man, drives the organization's philosophy and interests. The level of secrecy he maintains puts professional intelligence agencies to shame. As Cerberus grows, so too does public distrust of the organization. Some commentators have remarked that Cerberus is not so much pro-human as it is anti-alien. Others question the blind loyalty of its employees. The Elusive Man, Mass Effect 2. The reclusive tycoon calling himself the Elusive Man is a human nationalist focused on advancing human interests, whatever the cost to non-humans. The Citadel Council regards him as a fanatic posing a serious threat to galactic security. A mysterious maverick, to say the least, the elusive man heads the Cerberus network. Dubbed the Elusive Empire by investigators, Cerberus is an allegedly untraceable syndicate of private intelligence agencies, biotic laboratories, engineering and scientific research teams, and lucrative front companies. Branded a terrorist and seditionist organization by authorities, Cerberus is the only human power base other than the Terra Firma Party strong enough to embarrass, if not threaten, the Council and its human representatives. The Elusive Man, Mass Effect 3. The Elusive Man is a human loyalist focused on advancing the interests of his species, whatever the cost to non-humans and, reportedly, humans. The Citadel Council regards him as a fanatic who poses a serious threat to galactic security. The reclusive tycoon is the head of Cerberus, an organization that furthers his pro-human agenda throughout the galaxy. His views have led him into questionable alliances. Recent rumors go so far as to suggest that the Elusive Man may even have allied with the Reapers. Mercenaries, Blue Suns. Founded by notorious Batarian slaver Salem Dal-Sarah, the Blue Suns began as a Skillian Verge protection racket providing genuine protection from slavers and pirates. Eventually captured by the Systems Alliance Navy, Dal-Sarah beat almost 24 charges to be convicted on a single count of conspiracy. The slaver benefited from the tutelage of cellmate and brilliant con artist Bernard Legit's Ledger. Upon release 5 years later, Dal-Sarah incorporated Blue Suns as a legal security agency. Today, the Blue Suns boast a galaxy-wide force of Batarians, Turians, humans, and Krogan. Each deployment is backed by a logistics core, selling everything from heavy weapons to shaving cream. Despite claims that Blue Suns sells its captives as slaves, no Blue Suns employee has ever been convicted on such charges. Many Blue Suns members sport the company logo in tattoo form, removed during assignments and reapplied at mission end. Mercenaries, Eclipse. Brainchild of Asari Commando Jonah Sedaris, Eclipse was incorporated as a proactive security company. Influenced by Asari and Solarian military doctrine, Eclipse specializes in sabotage, assassination, and personal and organizational security. Although Citadel governments regard the corporation with suspicion, it's embraced in the Skillian Verge and Terminus systems. Early on, Sedaris sought government contracts to establish market share against the better-established Blue Suns. Her agency scored a galactic PR coup by retaking several space stations captured by the Anhur People's Liberation Army and neutralizing its leaders, a victory Eclipse's marketing department never ceases trumpeting. Based on Omega Station, Eclipse controls nearly 20% of the asteroid's real estate. Its services range from mech repair to open warfare, although assassination is reserved for meeting wider, longer-term company goals. For instance, preemptive strikes against pirates rather than murdering spouses for insurance money. Despite numerous reports, Eclipse denies sabotaging or kidnapping business rivals. Mercenaries, the Blood Pack. Originally a small Terminus Systems Vorcha gang, the Blood Pack was transformed into a legion by visionary Krogan battlemaster Gunnar Rong. Exiled for striking a female in anger, Rong obsessed over reclaiming his lost status. Leading the Vorcha Pack as a pirate crew, Rong cultivated recruits and infamy for a decade before incorporating his fighters as a security company across the Skillian Verge. His notoriety ensured his initial public offering for investors made him rich beyond most Krogan's dreams. Wrong returned triumphantly to his clan, rallying elders, Krogan hordes, and their firepower and biotic support toward professional violence in the Terminus systems. Banned from Citadel space, the Blood Pack bribes its way through spaceports into armed conflicts across the galaxy. Priding themselves for accepting otherwise untouchable contracts, the Blood Pack rejects bodyguarding and security in favor of cases requiring minimal oversight and maximal violence. Cerberus, Atlas. With the Atlas, Cerberus's research arm has combined the deadly armor and firepower of a Yimmer mech with the tactical superiority of a trained human pilot. An Element Zero core allows the Atlas to be airdropped onto a battlefield with minimal impact damage. Its thick armor includes a robust transparent canopy made from a polycrystalline composite proprietary to Cerberus. Alliance engineers hypothesize that the material is some kind of synthetic sapphire composed with interlayers of resistant cracking and thermal damage. Although the Atlas is somewhat unwieldy in the field, its anti-personnel machine guns and ability to shrug off damage from anything short of a heavy weapon makes it a fearsome opponent. Heavy loss of life is to be expected in any unprepared encounter with this unit. Cerberus, Centurion. Centurions are Cerberus's frontline tacticians. They are meant to enact the elusive man's strategic goals, although it is clear that they have leeway to adapt as an encounter develops. The only useful intelligence that the Alliance has gathered on Centurions relates to their armament. Each Centurion carries an M96 Maddock, heavy rifle modified to launch smoke grenades, leaving enemies vulnerable to crossfire. Cerberus, Engineer. Cerberus combat engineers are specialized support units that assist primary forces while staying out of the line of fire. They wear lighter armor than the typical Cerberus combatant, using a modified mesh that allows greater mobility. Undercover and out of sight, engineers focus on setting up and maintaining turrets, as well as repairing mechanical units or armored allies. When confronted, they return fire only for as long as it takes them to find cover again and let frontline combat personnel take over. Although engineers are not particularly dangerous on their own, the Alliance specifically warns troops to remain alert for turrets, which can mow down an entire squad while the engineer escapes. Cerberus, Guardian. Guardians, the Cerberus equivalent of human tanks, are slow-moving soldiers who carry enormous polycrystalline composite shields. The weight of the shield requires an armored suit equipped with hydraulic assists and a dedicated power supply. Combining this exceptional protection with a suite of enviromapping systems, Guardians focus on flanking opponents to flush them from cover. A Guardian's slow but relentless approach is intended to demoralize enemies as well as draw their fire, but rip away their shield, and Guardians become little more than cannon fodder. Cerberus, Nemesis. The Nemesis is a Cerberus sniper specialist. Customized implants allow the Nemesis to withstand the crippling kickback of the M98 Widow anti-material rifle, turning a redoubtable opponent into a force capable of inflicting instant death. A suite of high-tech scanning equipment makes the sniper adept at maintaining cover, meaning a Nemesis is usually spotted only after opening fire, assuming the target survives the first round. Because of self-destruct mechanisms that activate upon the sniper's death, the Alliance has never retrieved an example of Nemesis augmentation technology. This fact, combined with Cerberus forces' penchant for suicide when faced with capture, has made scientific study of their implants impossible. Cerberus, Phantom. Phantoms are agile Cerberus agents with a wide array of offensive and defensive capabilities, including particular specialization in evasive maneuvers and firing from cover. Although intelligence on their implants still evades the Alliance, Phantoms are known to be able to create a personal barrier for greater protection. Monomolecular blades and biotic shielding allow Phantoms to engage in close quarters combat, and Phantoms can briefly cloak in order to recover from injuries. Because of this ability, the Alliance recommends personal confirmation of a Phantom's death. Cerberus, Trooper. Assault troopers are the backbone of Cerberus's forces. Those candidates who make it through the grueling basic training are submitted to an intensive psychological program that renders them fearless, disciplined, and unrelenting. Outfitted with custom-designed armor and rifles, these soldiers function with determined precision and practiced teamwork. The first to rush into a fight, assault troopers often work in tandem with more powerful units. They make strategic use of the scenario, keeping their opponents occupied until it is too late to react to the combined Cerberus force bearing down on them. Eldfell Ashland Energy. In 2137, the Ashland Energy Corporation successfully extracted helium-3 from Saturn's atmosphere, beginning a new era of fusion research. On the wave of this success, they merged with Eldfell Construction to vertically integrate the two companies' strengths. Ashland would recover the raw materials for energy production, and Eldfell would build power plants, refineries, and pipelines on nearby worlds to distribute Ashland's products to the consumer. Eldfell Ashland Energy was born. As EAE's reach extended, they absorbed companies to create a cradle-to-grave corporate experience for their employees. Today, subsidiaries such as Second Star Living recruit colonists to staff EAE facilities, and the education group Excelsior provides job-related education opportunities to provide EAE stations with a qualified incoming workforce. Water, power, food, shipping, EAE provides them all. If EAE wants to put a colony on a garden world, they are able to do so and keep 90% of services performed completely in-house, creating consumers out of its own employees. Its primary revenue stream, however, continues to come from mining base elements like hydrogen, helium-3, and EZO, and trading in their futures. Mercenaries. Found in all corners of the galaxy, the typical mercenary is a former military or police officer who completed his term of service and is marketing his skills for a much higher wage. But even at the best of times, there is little quality control or accountability in the system, and frauds and unprofessional thugs are a constant problem. To counteract this, the largest private military contractors offer their own training and certification courses to the point where would-be mercenaries can join the company with no previous experience and come out with all the necessary skills. Mercenaries work for a wide variety of employers. Governments top the list, overwhelmingly preferred by most companies for their deep pockets, long terms of employment, and appearance of legitimacy. However, mercenaries are also found working for rebellions, colonist collectives, corporations operating in war zones, or illegal but well-funded interests, such as pirates and drug cartels. It is for this reason that most nation-states or galactic governments frown on the use of mercenaries, at least by their opponents. The Citadel Conventions reflect this disapproval, stating that mercenaries captured in wartime are not legitimate prisoners of war, but criminals on the battlefield, and they may be executed without violating the laws of war. While some mercenary groups are lobbying to change the articles of the conventions, most see the associated risk as a unique badge of courage. And that concludes this volume of Lore Listening Library. Tune in next week where we go over planets and locations. Until next time, I'll see you all later.